City bus going by the front of the house of Magali Sibaja in Tiburon, Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It was a small village, and that roadway is for light traffic, and it was a loud city bus that went by. I can hear a city bus outside the front door here. And it's the sound of the motoring that I'm comparing. And the year I heard the sound of the motoring in Costa Rica of the city bus in front of Magali Sibaja's house would have been the year 1994. I'm in the year 2025 right now and still hearing the same sounds out of God's creation. The motoring is really, I need the order of silence that I am, and I don't need anybody who's not myself to break my order of silence. I make the motion with my silence, that I hear God within my silence, and there should be no one who is breaking my silence to speak that they are more important than my silence, including the driver of the motoring that went by just now. He doesn't know that I'm talking about himself, not like a sex offender all up in my face, wants me to know his name and where he lives, until I don't know where he lives anymore because I don't know where I live instead. And I still remember him. I am not a shunt. You did that to myself, and I am God. It's on my leverage. You are interfering with my silence to the extent that it snapped my leverage. Just to answer your questions, if you think that you're like myself or that I am like yourself, I am not in leverage to answer your questions. And you are not in leverage to have genitals anymore. And that's not why you were sex offenders. You were very well aware of that you had either male or feminine genitals. You caused me to decease the genitals is not paid for as sex offenders. You can't be a sex offender and decease your genitals. That's rich. I've been paying out money and I am the soul. Let's say that I would do that as the soul, but the money is circulating amongst the strangers who are not the soul, and you know that about yourselves. That is not paid for, that I have been paying out money to you when you pay out money to each other for other reasons. You're not the soul, but you want to abuse the money, is in leverage with myself. I am deceased out of that, and you don't have your genitals deceased by yourselves that way through all of those things I just described in the threatening of circulating printed currency. You've done it so far that it is foreign exchange currency as well. You don't have it paid for, that you don't have genitals anymore. I can't do that for you because I'm God and I'm going to save myself from you. I am going to save myself, but it sounds like a long road ahead of you that you don't have deceased out of your genitals with themselves. That means you offended your genitals with themselves and you knew you were doing that. You could have done that anyway, but you did it right in front of me and you did it on my time. I hear the sound of the television that I didn't turn on myself, and it's interrupting my silence. And I also hear the sound of the kitchen sink running is interrupting my silence. That is Charles Toe doing two things at once in the same apartment. Key fit. And I didn't give him the key by offer it to himself. I can't. And if I do, you're supposed to turn it down. I cannot hurt myself with myself. You cannot trick me to hurt myself with myself. You are in order as well. You are to turn it down. You are do elsewheres. You are supposed to know that with yourself, that you are not to hurt myself in any which way you are threatening. Including if you think that I am wrong to myself, you are not to threaten me further than what you think I am wrong to myself about. That is still what you think about something. And you are not due there. You are due deceased. You are not the soul. You are due deceased to myself. I am not correctable. You can be over me by being taller than myself. And I am still not correctable. Your questioning about who is over who is exhausted. You have no genitals left in the threatening. And you don't have that paid for because you're still locked in your genitals. Joellen Meyerhoff's genitals were sexually abused by Ben Pearlstein, John Manio, Aaron Miller, somebody from Whole Foods Market in Madison, Wisconsin. And John Manio respelling his name. It was JOHNMANYO. And Joellen said JONMANYO. The property in dispute was 6811 North Raynard Road, Village of Fox Point, Milwaukee County, State of Wisconsin, North Continent, America, United States passport of Rose Kaleko. And I'm going to give you my U.S. passport number, 086-057-276. That is not the number of United States passport Rose Kaleko. You are illegally alive, shunted, traveling without permission. On Princess Cruise Lines. Year 1991. I'm not going to help you with that. You are homeless and hopeless. You don't have genitals, you don't have alive, and you confiscated genitals from people who had genitals illegally alive after yourself because you were illegal. And that would be yourselves, meaning Donna, Hans, and Rose Kaleko. The Jaguar is impounded. Who was the driver of the flatbed is what Donna called it, Mom? Flatbed truck that towed the Jaguar. I didn't see it, but that's what she said. That driver is completely annihilated. I am deceased as superior founder in this scenario, giving you my leverage on YouTube. You're so far in the wrong, you can see it. The videos are not in sequential order to yourself. If you see it on YouTube, you can see it in any which way you can see it. There are many separate videos, beginning to end, ended, and beginning another video. They don't all go together. You can see it if you can see it. Why do I even say anybody's name who's not myself? Why don't you move the creation around myself? You wouldn't get me a glass of water if it was from my house.